Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today I have another spread in my handmade traveler's notebook journal. I made the inserts from mixed media paper, and here you see me scribbling on the Neocolor crayons to the pages. I haven't added any gesso to them, so this is just mixed media paper. You will find a how-to tutorial on how I made my traveler's notebook journal and how I make the inserts for it at the end of this video. I will link it up in the end cards. I'm adding a lot of the crayons to get a really intense background. If you don't have the Neocolor crayons, you can also use the STabilo Woodys, for example, and I'm pretty sure you could also use the Dina Wakley Scribble Sticks. I don't know if it's possible to use the Gelatos or the Distress Crayons, because there's no gesso underneath. These crayons will sink a lot into the paper, and then they are a bit harder to reactivate with water, and they will maybe not move as good as these crayons do it. I'm blending the color just with water and a brush. Unfortunately, you can't see this because it's out of the camera. I used some pinkish red and scribbled it to my glass plate, and then I pick it up with a brush and just add it to my background. I just want to get rid of some of the water that is swimming in the fold of the book. I'm drying this quickly with my heat tool, and then I move on by adding some gesso with a palette knife. I really like this technique for adding gesso to a background because I really like the texture you get. Here I'm using heavy gesso because it has more stability and it's more opaque than a normal gesso. And of course I don't cover the whole page, as I still want to see something of the color I've just added before. For my next layer, I'm going in with some stamping, and here I'm stamping a border to the right side using black StazOn ink together with one of my pencil marks stamps. And I also decided I wanted to have a little bit of pink, and so I'm using this wavy border together with a pink stamp ink. And I just ink up my stamp once and then stamp it randomly all over the page. And for even more texture, I'm using the Mix a Sentiment stamp just as a background stamp. Here you see me cleaning the stamp on a piece of scrap paper. I always keep these kind of papers, and I also spread paint to them when I have it left over. And these sometimes make really gorgeous backgrounds or are great for collaging. I wanted to intensify the orange of the page because I feel it's a bit too yellow, and so I'm mixing the same color that I already mixed for the background, the yellow and a bit of a pinkish red. I believe it's a carmine red. The gesso acts not as a real resist because you can paint over gesso with the crayon, but it gives it a different look, and also I am able to wipe away some of the crayon from the areas that have gesso. I'm doing the same with the blue here. I wanted to have some darker areas. This is what I love about the Neocolors. You can use them in so many different ways, and especially if you are maybe a card maker and want to just jump into a little bit of art journaling, then you don't need to buy that much mixed media stuff. You can start with some crayons and gesso and you're good to go. I'm really happy with the background. I feel that with the second layer of Neocolors, the gesso was brought into the page and everything looks more cohesive. For my main image, I wanted to use a flower, and this one is stamped to a jelly print. And I had this laying around already. Of course, you can just stamp your flower to a piece of paper and color it in with the Neocolors. I shared this in my last Neocolor video. There I just used them to color in my stamped images, and I will link this up in the info box. I'm adhering also some words to the page. These are cut out from the Mix a Sentiment stamp set, and it's just stamped to white paper. I want to have some more texture in the blue areas, and therefore I'm just using that grid stamp together with some blue ink. For the right side, I thought I will stamp that leafy stamp from my pencil marks, and I just stamp it directly to the page. This is possible because it's not a very big art journal, it's just a little zine, and it's very flat, so stamping in it is very easy. To color that branch in, I'm using a white Uni Posca marker. If you're interested in more videos where I use Neocolors or other crayons, you can check my playlist. I will link it up at the end of the video. And what I almost always do is adding some splatters. I'm using white splatters here because it matches perfectly the white gesso. And this is my finished spread. I hope you enjoyed today's video and I wish you a wonderful weekend. And hopefully we will see us next time. Bye!